Many people feel like they'll never have enough Primogems, and that's by design. Genshin Impact's business model is for you to not have enough resources to keep up with the constant stream of new characters, and then capitalize on your FOMO to get you to spend. This can lead people to spend literally thousands chasing characters, weapons, and more. And even if it's not that extreme for most people, under this system it is easy for people to spend way more Primogems and money than they ever intended. And of course there are a lot of people who are totally free to play and feel like they never have enough Primogems either. And while this may be by design, there's also some bad habits I see tons of players make that totally destroy their hard-earned Primogem savings. And I know firsthand just how bad these habits are because I did most of these when I first started, and once I stopped, then my Primogem count kept going up and up and up. Hey everyone, Shark here, and in this video we're going to talk about the 6 bad habits that will destroy your Primogems in Genshin Impact. The first of which is chasing a specific 4-star character or weapon on a banner. I am totally guilty of this even as of just recently. I posted a video of me wishing for Mika, a limited rate up 4-star, and let's just say it didn't go very well. I ended up getting Keqing and Shenhe before I ended up getting Mika. I ended up using over 15,000 Primogems worth of wishes before I got a single copy of this 4-star character Mika. And oh, that hurts to say. Keep in mind, this is a rate up 4-star character, meaning you have a lot higher chance to get him on this limited banner, about 33% over 20 wishes. But RNG can be very, very cruel. And if you're wishing on the limited weapon banner for a specific 4-star weapon, it's even worse because it means you only have about a 20% chance to get that weapon in 20 wishes. Or in other words, you have about an 80% chance to get something you don't want on a limited weapon banner if you're only going for one 4-star weapon. This is also compounded by the fact that the rate up characters and weapons on these limited banners have no pity, so you can keep wishing and wishing and wishing and still not get the character or weapon you want. I've seen so many comments and heard so many horror stories about people wishing on the recent Sino banner to get Bennett and unfortunately not getting any of him using 60, 70, even 80 wishes or more. And a lot of times they not only burn through so many Primogems, but they also ruin their pity for a limited 5-star character that they may really want. So if you only want one 4-star character or one 4-star weapon on one of these limited rate up banners, it's definitely not a good idea to chase them as you can burn through a ton of Primogems. Which leads us to the second bad habit which can completely annihilate your Primogems, and that is wishing on the weapon banner regularly. The weapon banners are a giant trap, and more often than not, people sink tons of Primogems into them just to get one single copy of a limited weapon they want. Because there's one extra 5-star in the limited rate up pool and one extra 4-star in the limited rate up pool, the odds are even more against you than the character banner for getting what you really want. This also means you may need to go to pity an extra time and spend even more Primogems just to get the 5-star weapon you want. Imagine this, you've saved some Primogems and a character you want comes out and you throw a bunch wishing onto them, you see the gold light flash across the sky, and it's a Diluc, not the character you were going for. But you still have some Primogems left and it's early in the patch so you can earn some more from events, you save up some more Primogems, wish again, see another gold flash and are relieved you're getting the limited character you want. But imagine if you weren't guaranteed and the next gold flash you saw was a Jean and not the limited character you want. That's basically the weapon banner because you can go to pity twice before you're guaranteed to get the limited weapon that you want. And if you already got 2 5-stars and the next one's guaranteed, how could you not go there? You're already so far. But this is the Sunk-Cost Fallacy, which is when you throw good money after bad or good Primogems after bad. And while this may be a logical fallacy, it is very effective at marketing using the fear of missing out, and this is exactly what the weapon banner is designed to do. It is designed to drain your Primogems, get you to a point where you feel like you're going to get exactly what you want coming soon or just on the next 5-star or the next few pulls. You spend some, you don't get it, you spend more, and then you get closer and closer to that guarantee, not realizing exactly how much you spent or feel like you're too close to not get it, and then you spend a little bit more. It's a little bit insidious, but this is how this works. My recommendation is that free-to-play players completely avoid the weapon banner unless you already have a majority of the characters that you want, you like both weapons on the 5-star banner, and you also like at least 3 out of the 5 4-stars that are on the banner. If that sounds like you, then feel free to put a few wishes into the weapon banner, but otherwise realize that it can definitely drain your Primogems very quickly. The third bad habit that will completely annihilate your Primogems forever is wishing as soon as you get enough Primos to make a single wish. This is a super common habit, especially early on in the game, but it's a really bad one. It gets you in the habit of wishing as soon as you can and just rolling the dice hoping you get something good instead of saving a lot of Primogems and guaranteeing yourself something you really want. When you're new, you can easily get thousands of Primogems from all the world quests, exploration, and story quests. But once those run out, you need to save Primogems for about 2 patches to guarantee yourself one limited 5-star character. So it can easily take over 2 months doing your daily commissions and getting the Primogems from events just to get a limited 5-star character. And while luck can certainly be a factor, the odds are very heavily stacked against you. So instead of making a wish every single time you get 160 Primogems, save them up for the characters that you really want. Pretend like they're not even there and just work on the characters that you have and save for characters that will make your teams really strong or the ones that you really want. And we'll talk more about that later. But for now, we're moving on to the next bad habit. The fourth thing that can completely melt your stash of saved Primogems is wishing on the standard banner. This is a mistake I definitely made when I was newer, and I know a lot of new players make this mistake as well. I've also seen more veteran players do this where they think they're close to pity, they throw in some Primogems to the standard banner, and it turns out they actually weren't that close to pity. And this is where your patience will really be tested. You shouldn't ever wish on the standard banner because we get free wishes from the battle pass, from leveling up characters, from reaching certain adventure ranks. And we can also exchange for these wishes in the monthly Stardust shop. So only wish from the standard banner when you're getting those free wishes from those sources. Don't use your hard-earned Primogems on the standard banner. This is especially hard because we only get a few wishes for the standard banner per month, but just think of them as like an extra little bonus. You'll get one here or there, you don't really count on it, and when you do, it's like, oh, we'll throw a wish in there. But if you have a habit of using your Primogems on the standard banner, you will probably regret it. There will be a character that comes out that you really want, and you won't have enough Primogems to wish on them because you've used them on the standard banner. Make sure to save your Primogems for limited character banners, not the standard banner because that's permanent and it's never going away. The next bad habit I've seen is one that hurts my soul, and I can proudly say that I've never personally done this, but it is a gigantic drain on your Primogems, and that is using Primos for Resin Refreshes. Genshin does allow you to spend Primogems to refresh your resin so you can do a few more domains or ley lines, but this is a really bad idea. First of all, you only get 60 resin, which allows you to do 3 domains or ley lines, or 1 world boss and 1 domain or ley line. And this costs 50 Primogems, but every time you refresh it also increases the cost all the way up to 200 Primogems, but the amount of resin you get is still 60. This is way too high of a price for something that doesn't give you a lot of rewards and only takes a few minutes to complete. Spending your Primogems on resin is like going to a vending machine and buying a single chip, not a bag of chips, but like a single Pringle for $1. And then you're like, well, that Pringle is pretty good, but I need more. So then you buy the Pringle again, but this time it doesn't cost $1, it costs $2 for a single chip. And then you're still hungry, so you buy a third one, but this time it costs $5. And then you still want more, so then it costs $10 for a single chip. And then the vending machine locks you out and it's like, yo dude, you have a problem, you should stop doing this. That's basically what it's like to use your Primogems to refresh your resin. Considering that we can get transient and fragile resin weekly and monthly respectively, it's better to just never spend your Primogems on resin refreshes. And the sixth and final bad habit that completely annihilates your Primogems is one that I see a lot, but it's one a lot of people don't realize that they're doing. But they don't realize this because you need a fairly deep knowledge of this game in order to understand what you're doing and why it's a bad habit. And this bad habit that completely destroys your Primogems is wishing for characters that don't synergize with your account. Especially now, there are a lot of characters that need special supports or teams to really work. I would not recommend wishing on certain characters unless I already had their supports or specific characters that they needed. For example, I would not wish on Hu Tao's banner unless I already had Yelan or Xingqiu. Likewise, I wouldn't wish on Zhao's banner unless I already had Zhongli, Bennett, or Farazan, or some combination of all three. It's very typical for characters in Genshin to require other characters to work well, so I would avoid these types of typically on-field damage dealers unless I had the specific supports they really wanted. And while most of the garden variety damage dealers need specific supports, the really good supporting characters like Nahida, Kazuha, Bennett, and Xingqiu, and so on, can be used in almost any team. That's why it's a really good idea to use your hard-earned Primogems on characters that you can put into almost any team that will help you out basically everywhere, instead of just using them on another on-field damage dealer that are kind of just a dime a dozen. And again, understanding which characters are best for you takes a little bit of game knowledge, but there are some incredibly strong supports and other characters that basically make any account better. And if you're curious about which characters will make your account better and are just generally really good, I have a video on that which I'll leave at the end of this one. And if you'd like some more personalized help, you can always check me out live on stream and ask me specific questions there. Just tell me which characters you have and I can tell you a team that would be really good for you. I'm live daily in the mornings Eastern Standard Time, so drop by, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you found this video helpful or think it can help other people, make sure to tap that like button and subscribe for more Genshin guides and free Primogems and other things. I love you all, stay jawsome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.